right, everyone. Hello and welcome to Pentiment. This is a 2022 release by Obsidian Entertainment. As far as I understand, this game is a historical fiction adventure-ish game that is about a, I guess, like, Renaissance era. I don't know if it's Renaissance. I think it's before the Renaissance, but still, kind of pre-modern historical fiction story about an artist. That is truly everything I know about this game. So we are going in completely blind. I know that it got a lot of attention and it was like critically pretty well received, but yeah, other than that, I don't know anything about it. It seems kind of moody. I'm interested. Let's get started and just go ahead and new game it. Oh, we have 3 potential save files. The easy read fonts. This game uses stylized fonts and writing effects that may be difficult for some readers. The easy read fonts option improves legibility by disabling some fonts and writing effects. I mean, if I'm going to be the one reading all the dialogue out loud, I may as well just use the stylized fonts, because I can read them. So, yeah, let's just do that, I guess. Autosave feature. Pentiment automatically saves your progress as you play the game. Okay. Neat. In principio erat verbum, e verbum erat apud deum et deus erat verbum. I do not know what any of this says because I do not read Latin. I do not know what maybe verdum or verbum is. Interesting. In the beginning was the word. Interesting. Oh, it's the Gospel of John the First. I see. So it's religious text. Interesting. Oh, okay. I'm scraping off the ink with this old stone. Why is that weird scratch mark already there in the center of the screen? Interesting. 3D modeling with the cool art behind it. Okay, this is gonna be a historical fiction game, so let's hope that my little brain is good enough to not get screwed over if there are historical fiction and like math puzzles and stuff. An artist sleeps. Okay. An artist's mind. Oh, so this is the dream that he's having? Ooh, very clear all of a sudden. Andreas. So our main character's name is Andreas. And the abbot said to me, Andreas, keep your conversations with Brother Piero to a minimum. Brother Piero is such a source of wisdom and encouragement for you, though. Indeed, but the rule of the Christian contemplative life demands that the brothers not engage in idle chatter. Ooh. Okay, so the underlined words are glossary entries? That's interesting. What does this do? Can I see other things? No? The rule. The Rule of Saint Benedict of Nursia is a book of instructions for monks living together under the guidance of an abbot, written in the 16th century. The rule provides the principles for living a monastic life. I see. Oh no, does this game have learning in it? Am I gonna learn things? Jesus Christ, what a pack of dullards. Be happy you're only stuck there for a few more months, Andreas. How did you reply to the abbot, Andreas? I like this one. I replied that the rule was for him, not for me. I'm an artist, not a monk. And thank Christ for that. His calling to God, his calling is to God. Yours is to your labor and the illumination that it brings. It's the abbot's house, so everybody has to play by his rules, or rather, the rule. Despite the abbot's ire, you must endure. Soon you will have finished both the abbot's work as well as your masterpiece. And then you will return to Nuremberg, where marriage and your new life as a master await you. Nuremberg, free imperial city of the Holy Roman Empire, major trade center, and city of arts, including printing. Indeed. Yes, marriage to someone he has never met. Hardly ideal. Well, the alternative is becoming a philosopher. Oh, this is Socrates. I didn't even read that name. Oh, Jesus. Then you should definitely get married. Is she pretty at least? Oh, who knows? That's not why I'm doing it anyway. It is growing late. The wheel of time stops for no man, Andreas. I fear you must leave us. Ah, true, Your Majesty. Will you visit us again soon? This is an interesting dream. Well, I can't always dream of this place, Your Majesty. Of course, if you're not here tomorrow night, I pray you will be someplace as pleasant. Grobian, please see Andreas safely home. Of course, Your Majesty. Until next time, Andreas. Until next time, Your Majesty. Okay. Pay no mind to the other fools, Andreas. I never do. Ow! At least I would if they'd stop stepping on my feet. Watch where you're going. All right, there we go. Sorry, I need to turn that horn down. I was trying to figure out where that sound was. Watch where you're going. They're fools, Andreas. No point in trying to teach them anything. I like this guy. I know old John wants you to endure the abbot's shit, but since I take you home, I get the last word. Don't let him run you ragged, boy. It will be fine. I don't want to cause any trouble. That's no way to think about it. You need to stand up for yourself. Yeah. Would you please stop? I give up. Take me home, Grobian. As you wish, Andreas. All right, so now we're awake. Good morning, Ursula. Time to get up. Chapter 1, The Baron, April 1518. So yeah, I guess this is a little bit pre-Renaissance, right? Wasn't Renaissance in the 1700s, something like that? I could be wrong. So click the journal tab to access quests. A few more pages. Prime hour 6. Another day, another few pages for the abbot, and hopefully a few for myself. I need to get across town and head up to the abbey so I can start work at the scriptorium. Huh. Oh, I guess that's just where they scribe? That's interesting. I wanted to see this. What does historical lettering do? Doesn't seem to change anything. All right. Whoa, this is a bigger map than I thought there would be. Tassing. Outer Tassing. What is this? Kiersau Abbey? Europe as a whole? Holy crap. Can we go to all of these places in this game? This is a huge adventure game if that's the case. Scriptorium. It's in the abbey. So we're in the farm right here. Where do we need to get to? Huh. Oh, it's outside of town. Got it. People. Brother Piero of Verona. Artist of Kiersau Abbey. I think that's a K. Or Riersau Abbey. Known for his kindness and helpful nature, Brother Piero is also respected as a master painter, specializing in works of extraordinary color. Ursula Gertnerin, daughter of Peter and Clara, half-sister of Ava and Big Jorge? Not sure. Glossary, Nuremberg, the rule. Those are the only two that I was able to grab. What's this? I should really clean this up. The Picatrix, Key of Solomon, the Heptameron, Prior Ferenc gives me all of these books to read. Yeah, we're gonna turn instant text on, for sure. Just because I don't want to wait. Let's look at this. There we go. That's much better. No more waiting. The Gertner house. Whoa! That's weird. It crossed the line of action. We exited the right side of the screen, but ended up on the right side of the screen. That's wild. Under... So she's literally a baby. Clara and Ava. Hello, Andreas. Good morning, Andreas. Did you sleep well? Ordinary, as far as sleeping goes. Well, as long as you didn't sleep poorly. Anyway, I know you'll be off to the Abbey, so I packed you some food. Almonds, cheese, and some of the rye you like from the Albans. Otto wanted me to ask you to join him for dinner at the Abbey. Alright, that's what Otto looks like. Otto stopped by? Yes, around dawn. Is it a little cheese pack for us? Here you are, Andreas. That's too kind of you, Clara. Many thanks. Master Andreas, if it wouldn't be too much trouble, could we... Would it be too much trouble if you paid next month's rent today? And if we raised it by 2 groschen? Is that the, groschen? Is that the currency? Type of thick silver coin minted throughout the Holy Empire. Groschen are typically worth 12 pfennigs, but may be minted at different values. Old currency makes no sense. I hate to ask, but we're behind on our taxes to the Abbey. 2 months behind. Peter's losing his hair over it. Even more than usual, I mean. I suppose that's not out of the question, yes. I think I can manage that. What's this say? I'm not sure how to respond to this. Rent wasn't due until the beginning of May. Oh, so we have like angels and devils on our shoulders. Be generous, Andreas. You can spare the money. It will ease your burden. You must take the consequences of inaction into account. You're under no obligation to pay, but the Gertners will suffer for it. I want to help them, but I don't want to be taken advantage of. I suppose that's not out of the question. Yes, I think I can manage that. We're so grateful, truly, Andreas. I apologize again for asking. It's just awful to be stuck in such a position. Our taxes get harder to pay every year. Peter works hard, but it just never seems like it's enough. Saint Luke bless you for helping us out. Christian evangelist and patron of artists and physicians, often represented by a winged bull. Speaking of St. Luke, how is your masterpiece coming along? It's been 2 months now, hasn't it? Slowly, I'm afraid. Most of my days are spent doing work for the Abbey. It's only during the divine office that Prior Ference allows me to work on my masterpiece. Divine office, the prayer times observed by all Christian monastic orders. Monks and nuns pray together 7 times a day and once at night, as dictated by the rule of Saint Benedict. A reasonable restriction, but slow going. The city council doesn't require it to become a master. I'm making it mostly to show clients and for my own sake. And yes, when I do finish, I will go back to Nuremberg, where I will marry and open a workshop of my own. From Nuremberg to a university, and now traveling the world as an artist. What a life you have ahead of you, Master Andreas. Yeah, I suppose it does feel like I'm starting a new chapter in my life after a little too much fun. It must be rather frightening, starting all over again. It is, but I know now that this is what I want to do. Not many people get to decide that. Certainly not anyone in Tassing. Anyway, I don't know anything about art, but I've seen you sketching such beautiful things in your little book. Your masterpiece must be wonderful. It is. It's my finest work. Good. That makes me glad to see some confidence in the men around here sometimes. Now I have to get back to my own work. Have a good day at the Abbey, Andreas, and we'll see you after Vespers for supper. See you after Vespers for supper. Monastic hour at dusk. One of the major prayer hours is followed by supper. Gotcha. Okay. Interesting. Not tonight, but thank you. Klaus Drucker invited me over for supper. Okay. Of course, please say hello to the Druckers for us. Of course. Until later, Clara. Hello, Andreas. Hello, Clara. Can you spare a moment to chat? Of course, Andreas. How can I help? You said you were behind on taxes to the Abbey. Exactly how much are you short? Oh, well, about 2 guldens worth. Gold coins used as a currency throughout the Holy Roman Empire. Though different standards exist for the golden in different regions, it's generally equivalent to a Florentine florin. Interesting. Can't pay your rent early. That's all right. I'm sure we can find some way to pay the abbot. No, I'll have my payment for you. I was just curious. Ah, I see. Peter's too proud a man to ask for charity when there's still ground to till. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have asked you about rent in the first place. You're young and have your own life ahead. I'm happy to pay early, Clara. You've been good hosts to me, and I can do without more than your family. God bless you, Andreas. Don't mention this to Peter, all right? He would hate to know I told you about our troubles. He won't know a thing. Thank you, Andreas. Until later, Clara. Alrighty, we have some characters now. Andreas. Peter and ill Peter. That's kind of funny. God bless you. Oh. Andreas. Oh, yes, Andreas. This weather's been god-awful. This town's gone to shit since my days. I feel like people have been saying that since towns were invented. Were things very different when you were young? As different as bear and beer and piss. The old abbot didn't bother us much about our customs. He didn't mind if we left a little offering to Perkta to keep the skies clear, as the weather fair. Perkta, pagan goddess of the Alps, associated with animals and spinning wool. She's still invoked by some Christians in Austria, Switzerland, Bavaria, and Swabia. Matthias knew that Christ was in our hearts, even if the White Lady's name was on our lips. I thought St. Moritz protected Tassing. St. Moritz is the patron of Tassing. Legend states he was an Egyptian-born commander of the Roman legion who converted to Christianity. They were all martyred for their faith. His hand is a relic in Kiersau's shrine. Yes, and St. Seisha, too. But who do you think protected it before they came along? One of Tassing's patron saints, Seisha was a local pagan who converted to Christianity and miraculously aided St. Moritz soldiers with food in the dead of winter. She was martyred for her actions. The saints weren't the first to watch over Tassing. My father knew that. Old Ranig Kemper knew that. Ranig Kemper, the late husband of Attilia. That bastard abbot may not like it, but some of us keep the traditions alive. What do these traditions entail? When you get up in the night to take a piss, go around the right side of the house and never go back the same way. That way the witches don't steal your soul. Oh, how interesting. I should go. All right, God bless you. I can't go that way? Okay. Morning, Andreas. Morning, Big Jorg. How's it going? You working today? Just taking a rest for a bit. Dad's still in the field. He had a big rock with the plow, and it took me Lord knows how long to pull it out. You off to the Abbey? Every day but Sunday. Right. Thank God for Sundays. Smells like a storm's coming. No? Huh? Smells like fresh Alpine air to me. You've been traveling too much. Where was it you spent your Wondersjahr before you came to Tassing? Wandering years, Wanderjahr, during which a journeyman, artist, or craftsman travels far and wide to improve their skills. Ha. This is scary. I'm not sure which ones I should pick. So Basel, Andreas knows some Italian and French and can reference cultural touchstones from Basel and nearby Bern, Zurich, and Freiburg. Andreas knows Dutch and French and can reference cultural touchstones from Antwerp, Bruges, and Ghent. I would probably pick this one. just because these are more different languages. Dutch and French are very, very different than Italian and French. Italian and Greek might be useful. Andreas knows Italian, a little Greek, and can reference cultural touchstones from Florence, Venice, and Milan. This would probably... So Italy would probably get us in good with religious people because we would know Italian and Greek. But I'm not sure. This one might also be good, Italian and French, just because we would... I mean, this is where a lot of like printing and industry and stuff happened, right? I'm not really great at this kind of European history. I studied Asian history, not 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 European history. I'm gonna say Low Countries. He looks like he would travel the Low Countries. But at the same time, Italian would get us with the church, which would explain why we're even working with them. And this will help us with the texts that are going to be in Italian and Greek. And plus, we have Socrates in our mind. So, you know what? Let's... I don't know. I don't know what I should pick. What do you think, chat? Would he be Low Countries or Italy? Sugi says Italy. All right, so that's one for Italy. Low Countries is calling out to me. But I just don't know how many people from the Low Countries are going to be here. Bartolome says, I believe Italian art was more popular during the Renaissance. I do agree. I think it was. Being able to pick Bruges, though, that's exciting. I think realistically, Italy would be the place. All right, so we have two people for Italy, one person for Low Country. Greek seems like it might be useful just to have because of its usage. So let's do Italy. I think we're choosing Italy. Italy, Florence for a while, but Venice and Milan as well. All right, Milan, one of the largest cities in Europe. Milan was once a major city-state in the Italian peninsula before becoming part of the Spanish Habsburg Empire. It is an economic and cultural power due to its position along central trade routes. Florence, home to the powerful Medici family, who ruled the city for centuries. Florence is known for its artistic patronage, hosting artists and thinkers including Michelangelo, Leonardo da Vinci, Botticelli, and Machiavelli. In Venice, one of the most powerful republics on the Italian peninsula, sitting on the northwest coast of the Adriatic Sea, Venice is a major center for commerce and art in southern Europe. Italy, no wonder your senses are dull. You've been down there too long. And enough time in the mountains and you'll be able to smell storms coming. How long will that take? 10, 15 years? I don't think I have that long, Big York. What'd you spend all that time in Italy doing anyway? Other than art, I mean. Hedonist sounds fun, but I don't actually get the sense that, one, that would be helpful or interesting. Businessman seems like it would be helpful. Craftsman, maybe. I don't think he doesn't strike me as a bookworm. Businessman seems good because he wants to open his own thing. Eden says, I've yet to find a bookworm that seems like one. I guess that's fair. People don't expect me to read nearly as much as I do, so maybe we'll pick bookworm then. Andreas spends all of his non-working free time finding and reading many books as many books as he possibly can. Yeah, I guess that's good. I don't know. I wasn't expecting like class choices in an adventure game. So, because it's kind of interesting. It seems like this is like directly affecting. It's like an RPG in the sense where I'm picking things that give me abilities maybe, or like skill checks that we can get through. I don't really know. I just don't really know how it works. It's like really, I don't know, nerve-wracking isn't right, but I want to say businessman. Businessman seems interesting. Learning how to run a business. The art will come with time, but how to manage finances, deal with clients. I have to secure my place in the world when I become a master. That's going to come from coin. You're a smart man, Andreas. Wish I could say the same. Could say anyone in my family knew anything about business. Most years, we barely have enough to get by. The peasant's lot, I suppose. Anyway, I have to get going. Gorg, let's go. Dan's already acting like I'm talking too long, even though I did all the work to get that rock out. See you later, Andreas. Until later. Okay. Now we're able to actually look around town. Which way are we going? We need to go this way, maybe? I think. Oh, Andreas. Good timing. Do you have a moment to lend me a hand? Of course. Wonderful. I've got too many irons in the fire. Or rather, horseshoes. I miscounted how many I put in. Now I need a hand, or they'll overheat and I won't be able to work the metal. Here, take this shoe and the tongs. Put the hot part of the shoe on the anvil and I'll hit it with the hammer. Good. Next one. I keep clicking out of the window. Because it's not full screen. Ah, well done. See? Short work. Thanks for the help, Andreas. I don't know what I was thinking doing all those at once. There were 2 of them in there, buddy. It sure would be nice to have someone to help me out here every day. Don't look at me. Painting is hard enough. Ha! That it is. Anyway, I don't want to take up any more of your time. I'll see you and Otto up by the Abbey guest house for dinner. Until then. That's interesting. So wait, is this the guy that we're getting dinner with? Martin, please, can you give me a hand here? What do you want? I'm keeping my eye on them. That looks a lot like standing there and doing nothing. Martin, for Christ's sake, help your cousin. Ah, morning, Andreas. Excuse us. One of the fence rails fell and the sheep started hopping it. No, excuse me. I'll try to stay out of your way. Thanks. It'll probably take an hour or two to track them all down at this rate. Blood sacrament. Damn it, Veronica. What did I say about blasphemy? Sorry, Mom. Oh, look, there's something going on up at the Steinauer's place. Who's that on the horse? Looks rich. I don't know, Martin, but Lucky is giving him an earful. Christ, I haven't seen Lucky that worked up since Peter and Clara's wedding when Johann pulled his pants down. Johann, Clara. Gotcha. Knocked two of my man's teeth out. You don't want to feel the strength behind a stonemason's anger. You think he's a noble? He looks really rich. God damn it, Martin, stay out of trouble for once. What? Aunt Hetty? Behave yourself. Don't we have enough to deal with right now? Andreas, if you wouldn't mind moving your skinny little body up the road, we need to get the sheep under control. Of course. See you later. Help your aunt and your cousin, all right? Eat shit, Andreas. I am genuinely worried that this is going to be one of those games where like every action takes time, so we end up like actually needing to rush to the abbot. Morning, Andreas. How's it going? Morning, class. Another day at the abbey. Another few hours to work on my masterpiece. Good to hear. You still coming by for supper tonight? Marie and Bert would love to see you. You really need to see these new woodcuts I have for the Italian edition of Till Eulenspiegel. Till Eulenspiegel. The titular character of a popular 15th century book, Till is a prankster continually exposing the vices and hypocrisy of others. He's also quite skilled at tricking people into smelling, touching, or eating his excrement. I didn't realize Father Thomas let you print books in Italian. Come on, Andreas, he's not that strict. No, he's just trying to protect people from adventure stories of questionable moral repute. He doesn't mind those so much, actually. No? As long as they don't get too carnal. Oh. So, supper tonight after Vespers? Of course, thank you. Great, I'll tell Marie and Bert you're coming then. See you later. Thomas. God bless Master Maler. I hope your week is going well. Thank you, Father, but I'm running late to the Abbey. It's no problem if you don't have time for me today. But the question is, will you have the time for the Lord on Sunday? You understand how important it is for your salvation that you receive Holy Communion, don't you? I do, but I've been working on sketches late at night and... Andreas, this is about more than your success in this life. There is enough... Oh my, what a blessed day to receive such an illustrious visitor. Master Maler, this is Lorenz, Baron of Rothvogel? A great lord from the countryside near Worms. Prosperous imperial free city in the western part of the empire, located on the Rhine, Worms has been the site of many imperial diets. Good to see you, Father Thomas. It is nice to be remembered fondly. I only wish all of your neighbors here were as welcoming. Well, yes. What brings you back to our little town? My wife and I are returning from a trip to Venice. We spent a few days in Innsbruck, and it was terribly dull. Capital of the Austrian county of Tyrol and major stop on the Imperial Road connecting Italy and Bavaria, it is the closest major city to Kiersau Abbey and Tassing. Notably, it was also the site of witch trials in 1485. Lots of witch hunts here. I mean, it has a certain charm common to these Alpine cities, but the place was crawling with nobles for the Emperor's Diet. The Imperial Diet is an assembly of 3 colleges of the Imperial Estates of the Holy Roman Empire, the Prince Electors, the Princes and Dukes, the representatives of the Imperial cities. They meet to deliberate on matters of importance to the Empire. The Emperor? Was he there? Did you see him? Oh, briefly, but he was sitting for a portrait at the time, quite lovely. I didn't want to bother him or the painter. How was Venice, my lord? I lived there only a few years ago. Oh, fascinating. Well, the city's, Jews now live in their own quarter in the north. I thought it said pews for a second, and I was like, what are the city's pews? The city's artists are still producing wonderful work. Titian, in particular, is a god. No offense, father. Of course. Anyway, my wife wanted to stay a bit longer in Innsbruck, and now I've decided to ride ahead to make a visit to Kiersau. I hear Father Matthias died shortly after my last visit, of course. Abbot of Kiersau before Father Gernot, or Gurno, widely respected by the monks and nuns as well as the people of Tassing, known for his kindness and his love of books. A great loss for the Abbey and for us all. Indeed. By good fortune, I recently came across a copy of the Historia Tassiae he was reading during my last visit. An account of the early history of Tassing, Kiersau's previous abbot, Father Matthias, had a copy. Baron Rothvogel brought another to the abbey as a gift. Father Matthias was hoping to find a second copy to corroborate the contents of the first. It contained some fascinating details about the history of this place. I'm afraid they might even cause a bit of a scandal. Yes, But I must be off. There will be time enough to discuss Tassing's past later. I commissioned a manuscript from the Abbey through Father Gernot, and I have come to check on its progress. Oh, my lord. If you have come to see your manuscript, you should speak with the young Master Maler here. It is an honor to meet you, my lord. Andreas is a journeyman artist from Nuremberg. For the next few months, he's also helping the Abbey's scriptorium. The scriptorium is a room for writing, illustrating, and illuminating manuscripts. Though typically associated with monasteries, they have disappeared from almost all abbeys by the 16th century. A Nuremberger artist working in the Abbey scriptorium in 1518? Oh, we should talk, Andreas. I must know the story. Surely, my lord, would find little entertainment or companionship in me. I have yet to judge the quality of your entertainment, though it sounds like we're off to a bad start. Thank you for the introduction, Father Thomas. Come to supper at the Abbey tonight. I'm inviting you to the Abbot's table. Did the Abbot invite me? Oh, don't worry about it, Father. Just show up after Vespers. What's he going to do, refuse us? Excellent. We will see you then. Nicholas, I'm dismounting. Run ahead of us and take the horses to the Abbey's guest house. I'd like to take my time talking with Master Maler. I'll meet you there. At once, my lord. So then, a journeyman from Nuremberg. Forgive me for saying so, but you seem a little old to not yet be a master. Are you unmarried? No, I'm not married, but in truth, I came to my vocation later than my father and brothers. I was in university for a number of years at Erfurt. Erfurt is one of the most populous cities in the empire, and it is located near its heart. It has been home to a respected university since 1379 and is a center for humanist thought. Erfurt. Wonderful. The same university as Martin Luther. He is a guy that basically started Protestantism, didn't he? He like split off the church because he believed in predestination or whatever. Erfurt is blah blah blah, priest and professor of theology at the University of Wittenberg. Controversial for his opinions on the church's sale of indulgences to forgive sin, which were recently published and distributed throughout the empire. Yeah, he was like really against certain tithes, and he wanted to bring the church to the common people, I think. Right? Am I remembering that correctly? From AP Urine History, European History, AP Urine History, AP European History, like 12, 13, 14 years ago for me right now. I don't remember when I was in that class. I was a sophomore in high school. That was when I was 15. So yeah, that was like 15 years ago. Yikes. He says things about the church that should have been said years ago. Might get him into trouble, but he's a brave, brilliant man. Wait, you may have even met him. Did you? You must tell me. Ah, no, he was a few years ahead of me. Still, his ideas do seem fascinating. I agree wholeheartedly. I simply must meet him if I get the chance. I wonder if the good brothers of the Abbey have heard of him. Perhaps they've even read his list of 95 theses against the church. List of propositions against the church's practice of selling indulgences for the remission of sin. It was written in 1517 by Martin Luther. Father Matthias was not above having a lively debate. I hope Father Gernot does not disappoint in that regard. But enough about Luther for now. Tell me about your university studies. Forgive me, Baron, but did you attend university? You seem very well educated. Oh, no. My family is merely wealthy enough to have provided me with all the books and tutors as a child could dream of. I love all knowledge, from Aristotle to Cicero to Ficino and Erasmus. Cicero is a statesman, scholar, lawyer, and renowned orator of the late Roman Republic. He was revered for both his contributions to Latin literature and his skill at rhetoric. Ficino. Marsilio Ficino was a 15th century Italian priest and humanist who was one of the leading figures of the Italian Renaissance. He is well known for his translations of the works of Plato into Latin. Aristotle, Greek philosopher and student of Plato, renowned as a polymath, he wrote on a wide variety of subjects. His work is extensively cited by current scholars, and even more work is attributed to him than he could ever have written. Erasmus of Rotterdam, a Dutch priest and philosopher who is preeminent among northern humanists, he is known for his works in Latin and Greek, as well as his calls for reform within the church. I may have misjudged the Baron. It seems he is as well read as any university student. In truth, I am simply happy to speak with another well-educated man. Now then, did you earn your doctorate? What the? Why did that happen? Oh, I see. The font changed because we recognized him as of lower station than he really is. Interesting. No, I didn't. Only a master's degree. I started working toward a doctorate, but didn't finish. Oh, that's a shame. Well, what was your area of study? Trying to think here now. So we have these fancy choices. Imperial law seems useful for a craftsman. Law, I suppose. I thought I could practice in Nuremberg. I never had much interest in the subject, honestly. A bit dull for my tastes. Besides, the Empire is such a mess of jurisdictions. Bavarian law, Rhenish law, Franconian law. Nonsense. I'd rather use my money to pay someone who studied the nonsense than learn it myself. You. If I had any faith, I would have prayed you'd never show your face here again. Curse you, Lorenz Rothvogel. Perked as dogs, tearing you to pieces would be too kind a fate. These rustic communities display a shocking lack of hospitality, don't you think? Well, what of your early time in university? Every student must study the trivium and quadrivium, yes. The trivium and quadrivium represent the lower and upper divisions of classical liberal arts university education. Latin, grammar, logic, and rhetoric form the trivium. Arithmetic, geometry, music, and astronomy form the quadrivium. Tsugi says, I imagine business and law go hand in hand. That was my thought. That's why I picked it, because I'm like, so here's my idea of this character so far. And again, I don't know how much of this game is an adventure game and an RPG. As I mentioned before, my entire understanding of this game was that it was just an adventure game. So I wasn't expecting us to have like a character class, for lack of a better word. It's kind of interesting. But yeah, so now that we're doing this, like my idea is, okay, I'm training to be an artist. I'm training to open my own workshop. What are the things that led people to artistry in the past? First things first, they need to be business people because they're opening workshops and they're selling art and they're usually involved in crafts. And when I say crafts, I mean like trades. So like carpentry, masonry, woodwork, sculpting, what's it called? Wood carving, things like that. Even painting was tied to things like outfitting churches, outfitting businesses, much like it is now, obviously, but like in a much more tangible sense. So he would need to be a good businessman. He seems to be relatively economically well off. When the people were like, can you help us with our money troubles? We were able, like, they came to us, which means that we must be getting paid decently well. We have enough connections to be going for to become a master. So obviously we know how to do art and how to kind of sell ourselves, I guess, and like, I guess, make connections with people that are useful. So business, and obviously as a result of business, you need to know laws. So you're going to be studying laws, making sure that you're operating within rules of whatever jurisdictions you're in, things like that. So that was my idea. I don't know, it makes sense to me. Did you have a favorite subject? Oh shit, I can pick. This is funny. Occultist. Andreas knows a soul-endangering amount of theoretical and practical knowledge on alchemy, astrology, theurgy, and necromancy, and various magical rites and ceremonies. Astronomy, not really that interesting. Logician. Instinctively thinks through the implications of information as he receives it. Adept at spatial analysis, and he can easily perform complicated calculations in his head. Yeah, this one seems useful. We're making him a bit of like a business polymath character. Logic, geometry, and arithmetic. Quite interesting for an artist. Was Aristotle's organon the foundation of your study? Yes, the organon for logic and Euclid's elements for geometry, but the past few centuries have yielded wonderful new texts on logic. Mathematician of ancient Alexandria, he is recognized as the father of geometry and is most well known for his Book of Elements, the foundation of all university education on geometry. Peter Abelard provided the foundation for scholastic philosophy and he established the primacy of Aristotle's work. Peter Abelard, 12th century French teacher, philosopher, and theologian. He is known for his philosophical work in logic and his theological work in atonement. He is also remembered for his love affair with his student, the renowned Benedictine nun, abbess, and scholar, Eloise d'Argenteuil. The Englishman William of Ockham gave us the Summa Logicae, arguing nominalism against Platonic realism. William of Ockham, 13th and 14th century English Franciscan, philosopher, and theologian. Known for his commentaries on Peter Abelard's 4 books of sentences, his defense of apostolic poverty, and his writings on faith and reason. And of course, Thomas Aquinas gave us the tools to employ both faith and reason in the pursuit of truth. Thomas Aquinas, an immensely influential philosopher, theologian, and jurist in the tradition of scholasticism. All monks and friars, of course, a great deal of work to force Aristotle to fit within the church's vision of truth. Is that so wrong? I question that these great men should have to wrestle logic into what the church established by fiat and force. And your other studies, was there anything else you excelled at? Dang, let's see. Hmm. Part of me wants to pick Latinist because it would be useful, especially with all of the other things that we have. But I'm not sure. Let's see. Let's read through all these again. Latinist, orator. Andreas excelled at rhetoric in university as a skilled teacher, persuader, public speaker. I don't want to pick occultist because people here want to kill witches. And while that might be really interesting, it seems very scary to want to do. Heavens and Earth seem pretty interesting. It gives us a very tangible thing, so maybe this. I love studying the natural world, my lord, both the heavens above and the wild spaces around us. Formerly, I studied as much astronomy as I could. It's incredible how much we've learned from both the Arabs and the Greeks. True, but even now we continue to discover more about what we can see within the celestial sphere. What began as pagan myths to explain our place in the world may help us understand our place in the heavens. And this may seem foolish, but I spent a lot of time in the wilderness learning about plants and animals. Really? Did the libraries of Erfurt not have enough herbals to satisfy your curiosity? I don't mean to malign our most august Greek and Roman authors, but the Materia Medica was written before the coming of Christ. A pharmacopoeia, or book for the creating compound medicines, written by Pedanius Dioscorides, a Greek physician and botanist who was employed in the Roman army. 5-volume text has been primary source for botanical information for centuries. Surely there is more that we can learn about plants, insects, and animals by observing them in nature. Beyond that, I simply have a love for wild places. While I do not share your academic interest in nature, I must admit that I sometimes enjoy the solitude of a walk in the woods. Ah, there's the Abbey. I have good memories of this place, of Father Matthias. I was sad to hear of his passing. How'd you come to know him? How'd you come to know of Kiersau at all? My family have been patrons of Kiersau for, I don't know how many generations. Some years ago, I heard that Kiersau still had a wonderful library and artisans. Professional artists have taken over most manuscript production, so I was shocked to find an active scriptorium here. The artists that remain here are quite talented, if a bit old-fashioned. Well, Kiersau is more than a bit old-fashioned. Some of my friends think I'm mad for commissioning a manuscript from an abbey in this day and age. But, well, my family have been patrons of Kiersau for generations. It seems wrong to stop now while there's still talent here. I commissioned a manuscript through Father Gernot a year ago, though I would stop by and check on the progress. I thought I would stop by and check on the progress. Wait, are you the artist working on it? It's a prayer book with 20 illustrations. I know the work, but no. I do know the artist well, the venerable Brother Piero. Oh, he's old. Look at that. How venerable? He still has his wits and his skills, if that's what concerns you. Brother Piero has an incredible talent with color. Then I very much look forward to seeing it. Interesting. Miklas, tend to the horses and the baggage. I'm heading up to the Abbey. Yes, my lord. Well, let's not keep the abbot waiting any longer. Nuns. Quite unusual for a Benedictine house to have monks and nuns, even if they are separated. Founded in the 6th century, Benedictines are the Christian monastic order that observes vows of obedience, poverty, chastity, and stability under the rule of the Saint Benedict of Nursia. The church closed most of them centuries ago. But then Kiersau is a place out of time in more ways than one. Do you know Mother Cecilia? She seemed to recognize you. I'm not gonna say that. Ah, you must be Father Grineau. I am Lorenz, Baron of... Yes, the Baron of Rothvogel. So wonderful to have you here again. We actually did meet on your last visit. Ah, if you say so, I am not good with remembering faces. Please forgive me, my lord, but I wasn't expecting you for another few days. Yes, I know, but I wrote ahead. I just couldn't wait to see my manuscript. I'm sure it's no trouble. Yes, I mean, no. It's no trouble. Did you want to see it now? Oh, in a moment. I could do with a bit of refreshment, though. May I grab something from the kitchen? Yes, certainly, my lord. I will meet you there. Andreas, I don't know what you were doing with the Baron, but I need you in the scriptorium now. Of course, Father. I'm eager to get to work. Then get to work. Shit, should have asked him about an advance on the Gertner's taxes. Maybe I could just convince Brother Matthew to pay me early. All right, the Gertner's taxes. Find a way to get paid. We have our first real little side quest. How exciting.